Alright, so to continue our layers, what we're going to do is now add a second tone to our highlights and shadows. And what I mean by that is for our shadows we have down here, we're going to take our mulberry color right here, and we're going to add a second layer of shadows to help blend this shadow into the actual color that's going to be in the shark. So this color is going to be the second shadow layer to our shadows right here, and then we're going to use this peach here for our yellows to blend it in to our color when we put that in. So first, let's go ahead and just take our purplish pink right here. We're going to start with the shadows first. So what we're going to do is just take this and add a layer over our shadows we already have and blend it out just like we did with our first layer of shadows. And what this does is help add some more coloration and bring our shadows out more so they don't look super harsh and like tense on the colors. This is going to really help it blend it and bring a lot more color and make it look more smooth. So let's just bring, since this back fin is behind his other fin, we're going to just bring this all the way to the end. And remember, you don't want to do this so hard that no paper shows through. You want some paper to be showing through to give room for our actual color when we go in and color him. We still haven't put his actual body color in. These are just the highlights and shadows. Then let's go up here. Let's make this a little bit lighter. We don't want too much since this isn't a super dark shadow. There we go, and let's add a little bit darker, a little bit more vibrant right under his mouth. There we go. Alright, now let's move down here on his belly. Just put a nice layer of this pink along our blue. As you can see, this is already bringing a ton of more life and color to our shark, making the colors look a lot more saturated and a lot more interesting. Then let's bring this purple a little bit further up above the blue. Make sure you fade it really good so we don't have any harsh lines. We want it to blend right into our colors. As you can see, this method of colored pencil drawing is very fun to use, but it does take a little bit more time because you're adding so many layers. This is our third layer we've put on, and we're not even 50% way through. Maybe we are 50, but then we're going to add this fourth layer, and then we still have a few more layers. But at the end, it definitely pays off and makes it look very colorful and vibrant, and it just looks amazing. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people like to use this method. Personally, me, I like to use this method for making cartoon-looking characters or fun pictures that I want to look really warm and inviting. And I like using the other method for maybe things that look more realistic. But you can use both methods mixed into one to make realistic or cartoon-looking drawings. Whatever you prefer. Alright, there we go. That's looking really good. We have that all blended in along his belly. Now let's add a little bit up here. Alright, there we go. Now we'll add a little tiny bit under his eye right down here. And then we'll add some along his gills as well. His gills look kind of messy right now because it's just a bunch of highlights and shadows mixed in there, but when we go in and add color and then make our gill lines a lot more defined with our black colored pencil, it's going to come together and look a lot nicer. Alright, so let's add some up here on the back of his fin now, and his little fin. Let's pull this secondary shadow along his back a little bit to give the idea that his back is curved and that this isn't just a straight line. So it comes down like this and then out. So you can see the gills making that curve to give the idea that his body is curved like that. Alright, now let's just add a little bit down here. Alright, and there you go. That is our secondary layer of shadows. Now let's go ahead and take our peach colored pencil and do the same thing for our highlights. So let's go ahead and start down here again, and we'll just go over a yellow and pull this up into our purple. There we go. Then up here. Now up along here, we're not going to put our peach color over our yellow because I'm thinking about adding a little bit of white in here to make it even brighter. So we're just going to go and stay below this. You can blend into it a little bit, just not a ton. But we can add some down here on the upper part of his mouth and along the top of his mouth as well. Let's add some on top of his eye. And all along here. Now let's put some along his gills. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but right in here I mixed my blue with my yellow a little too much and got some green in there, but that's okay. We'll just keep on going. Here we go. This is looking really nice now. Can't wait to finally put our color in and have it all come together. Alright, there we go. Now let's come up here, add some. We'll add some right along inside here. right, and then along his back. There we go. And then back of his tail, or the top of his tail. Now down here, let's just cover the only places we don't want to go over the yellow with our peach is right along here. So you can go over it right here and all back here. And actually up here, do not cover it because we're going to put a little bit of white in there, just to make it a little bit more vibrant. Alright, now let's go ahead and finally do his fin, or his bottom fin. We can go over all the yellow, but don't push too hard because we don't want to color that up. Pushing just light enough makes a really nice tone here, makes some great looking color. Alright, and there you go. There is our 2 layers, our secondary shadows and highlights. Now to finish this lecture off, let's go ahead and take our white colored pencil and add that last final look to our highlights. So just take your white and very lightly just add a nice layer of white along here. And actually, let's just take a little bit and put it along here as well. Even though we did go over with the peach, it's still fine. All right. There we go. And then a little bit up on top of his tail. Alright, and there you have it. That is our 3rd layer, or 2 layers in one lecture, of our shark. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next lecture where we can actually color him in pink. His base color, if you were to put no light on him or highlights or shadows, he would just be straight up pink. So we're going to go into our next lecture and color him in pink, and then once we've done that, we can look at it and tell what needs to be changed if we need more highlights and shadows, and we can do that.